KRBE. It's the Roula and Ryan Show. Y'all, I was looking up the concept of tipping in America, how it began. It dates all the way back to the 1850s and 1860s. That's when the tradition started. Because it was wealthy people. They would tip for superb service.
So the Richies started that.
Yeah, they really did. They wanted to seem aristocratic. They were actually kind of copying Europeans. So that began like Civil War times.
Where?
European what?
European.
What? Okay, so we're doing a tipping topic because a lot of people these days are complaining that I didn't even get a tip for this. And others like, I didn't even know I was supposed to tip you. And then many of us have been stuck in that weird position where the person flips the iPad around and says, can you make a choice and give me your autograph? That's how they tell you, give me a tip.
You didn't do anything.
Somebody texted, I remember this, where you put your dog up for a night at one of the places. Those
Boarding.
Yeah, doggy daycare.
They did one night and they got the dog and then they flipped it around and then said, would you like to tip? And they're like, well, am I supposed to tip for that?
Yeah. Okay. So
Is that
that's
part
what
of
we're
the price?
asking.
So it's like
The dog is in a crate like 19 hours a day.
It says here the number one place where Americans forget to tip but should always leave at least $3 is in the hotel for your housekeepers.
I've never done that.
You don't tip the housekeepers?
I think I've done it one time.
I only do
Maybe
it at
twice.
an Airbnb where they have hired a little service to come through.
Why an Airbnb versus a hotel?
You know, I feel like the hotel is paying their folks nicely and outright, and it's all, regimented. But an Airbnb, they found some little, abuelita service who works with her daughter.
Do you put it in an envelope, or do you just leave it on the dresser?
Yeah, because I know the owner's not taking the cash and never
somebody's
going to
see that, and they're like, ooh, look at that's for me.
I have seen a lot of times an envelope left there for me to place the money into.
I've never seen that. But honestly,
So they're pressuring you
I
to
would think
tip.
the opposite.
Yes.
I feel like if they hired the housekeeping service, they're getting that flat fee themselves as opposed to housekeepers. According to this article, it says it's $1 per person per day in your hotel room, a minimum of $3 to $5 per day for your hotel.
Or you just tip the first day.
housekeepers.
It's like a bartender. You tip them big the first time. That way you get the good service
Is
the
that
rest of the
right?
night.
All right, Madison's up first at 713-390-KRBE. You
All
tell
right,
us what you do. We're going to see if that is tip worthy. Hi, Madison. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Madison. So what is it you do for a living?
I was a barista about a month ago, but I started as a medical assistant now.
Okay.
But when I was a barista at Starbucks, tipping culture was very big, but me and my coworkers, and 9 times out of 10, a lot of people feel this way, it is not necessary to tip. We all believe that it was just a way for corporate to not pay their employees as much because they rely on our customers to tip us, when I feel like that's not right. I feel like corporate companies should be able to pay you enough a livable wage
You're
where
right.
you don't have to rely on
You're right.
Wow, so
They
you're
ba-
saying
basically
you don't
these
feel
big
bad if you
companies-
don't tip at Starbucks is what you're saying.
Sam, there you
Madison.
go.
Don't feel bad, but I will say this. We did have a lot of regulars that we did go above and beyond. Like, I would see someone walk in who came in on a regular basis
Mm-hmm.
and already had their drink ready, and they really loved that. And so they would always leave us like
Oh,
$1.
I would definitely tip you for that. If you saw me coming and you already had my drink ready, I would definitely tip you for that.
Yeah, like you're a regular.
One more
Love
quick
that.
question
Yeah.
about the tip level of Starbucks. What about, are you treated the same if you're the Starbucks employee inside the grocery store versus the Starbucks employee in an actual Starbucks? Is that different? Like, should we tip them more than we should tip you?
Probably less pressure in the grocery
I
store.
feel so. Fun fact about Starbucks that are inside of like Targets and Kroger's. They're owned by Target and Kroger.
Okay.
They're not owned by Starbucks.
Right.
So
They just train them to
they're
do the
similar.
coffee.
Yeah, they're similar, but there is a lot of big differences. I would say it's honestly the same. Like, either way about tipping, if you feel like they go above and beyond for you, then yeah, go ahead and leave them a nice little tip to let them know that their work is appreciated. But if they're just doing their job and they got you your coffee and nothing exciting happened, then just pay for your drink and go.
So
All right.
basically what
All
you're
right,
saying
Maddie,
is
thank
we're
you.
helping these big companies get even more profits because they don't pay their employees and the employees rely on us to pay them.
That's what sucks when you got to rely on the customer.
And did we address this? Are they actually getting that $1 or $2 that you hit the button on, or is that going to the company and
skim?
allegedly split up between them at the end of the week?
Yeah.
no.
Are you splitting the tips on the app? If you tip on the app, I guess the app gets
Does it go
updated
directly
now?
to you or do you have to split it in a pot?
So whenever it comes to the tips that you can leave on your mobile app, those do get split between the people who work that shift. I'm not exactly sure how. My manager used to show me how it works, But depending on the time of day that they left the tip, the people who were working that shift, it gets split between them. So if like someone comes in the morning and leaves a tip, the night people aren't going to see it. But vice versa, someone at night tips, the morning people won't see it. I used to work a lot of like 4 a.m. to 10 o'clock shifts.
Oh, wow.
So
That's a tough one there.
And that was like our busiest time. And that was actually like our peak times where we got a lot of tips.
So really the only way to like make sure the money gets to you in person is to hand them cash.
Yeah.
I guess so. But then don't they still put that in the tip jar? And then
Who has
split
cash
that?
nowadays?
All right, we're asking, if you're just tuning into the Roula and Ryan show, we're
And
asking
everything's
about...
on an app.
Yeah, everything's on an app now. We're asking, what is your job, and do you expect a tip? Do you expect a tip, and are we supposed to tip?
Or you tell us the job,
We're
and we'll
gonna-
be like, maybe
we're
you
gonna
should
be
get a tip for that. Like a teacher,
Yeah.
I think a teacher should get a tip.
Yep.
Well,
They
isn't
do
that what the
parent
Christmas
night?
gift is called,
Yeah.
or the holiday gift that you're giving them? Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Bribe
happy
agreed.
spring, or okay. Joshua's up next. Thanks for calling, Madison. Joshua's up next. Joshua, hi. Welcome to the Roula and Ryan show. What do you do for a living?
So I'm the guy that does your oil change whenever you go to either a Take 5 or a Jiffy Lube, or whenever you bring your car back to the dealership to get an oil change. I'm the guy that does that.
Okay,
Oh, wait,
so
are we supposed to tip that person?
We're a jury
we're
here.
hiring
Let's
you
decide.
for a
Tipping jury.
service. Why are we supposed to tip that?
No, we walk into a store, and that is the job.
What do you guys
are
say?
supposed to do. I've never tipped the Jiffy Lube
This
guy.
conversation makes me so uncomfortable. The amount of hate I feel like we're going to get.
No, we're
for
giving education,
responses.
Sam.
I mean, honestly,
because if we
why-
don't know, if
My
this-
oil change is so expensive,
right,
dude.
Sam.
for
So the
my-
Why
question
should we
is,
be
hold on.
tipping him?
The question is,
'Cause he's the
we
one
are
doing the
not
work.
tipping. Are we supposed to be? This is
Yeah.
what we're trying to
We're
learn.
the jury. We say no. I say
Joshua,
no.
we don't think we're supposed to tip you. Do you expect a
Well,
tip?
okay, so I've gotten tips. I used to work at Jiffy Lube, and I've gotten tips before. Now, the reason you should tip me, the guy who does the oil change, is usually you speak to a service advisor, and they're the guy that sells you the oil change, a tire rotation, or maybe they're going to try to sell you filters.
That dirty
So
filter
they're
from the
the guys
back that
that
they're
sit-
saying is yours.
Yeah, it's not even
And it's
in
not
the same
actually
car.
yours. Saw that scam. Okay,
You know,
yes.
so
but so your
they're the
service
guys
agent.
that sit in the AC the whole time, but I'm the guy that's actually under your hood, because most people drive around all day and then they'll come in with a hot hood and,
Oh, that's true.
hey, do my oil change.
But
and
aren't
then
you
we gotta
paid to
drain
do this
hot
service? Like, I mean, aren't
you're
you
getting
paid
a-
by the company?
Yeah, that's the job, right? It's not work for
oil. Yeah,
tips.
you are. You are paid by the company. I'm not saying you should always tip them, but I've been tipped by a few people on and off just because they see that, hey, this guy's actually
That's true.
doing the oil change.
how do we
It is
He's actually
114
working.
degrees
Yeah, how do you
outside.
do that? Walk back into the shop
Yeah,
and
because a lot
say,
of times
here's
they
some money?
They bring the car around, or you just get in the car and you go.
Well,
Yeah,
the
where
dude
do
who
I
gives
see
you
that?
the car is probably the
The
guy
other
who
guy,
did the
that's usually the
service.
guy that is in the air conditioning.
But Jiffy Lube's really tiny, though. It's like a drive-through. It's like a really
It
small
is.
building.
Wait, let's Joshua answer that question. How do we get you, Joshua, the oil changer, to get the tip? How do we actually interact with you?
A lot of people watch their cars. So at the dealership, some people will sit or stand in front of the bay. So where we drive out, they'll watch us work on their car.
That's a lot of
Same
pressure.
with Jiffy Lube. It is a lot of pressure, but it's not that bad. So a lot of people will just come up straight up to you and be like, "Hey, here you go," and then they'll just give you a tip outright without even.
Are they hoping that you're going to
Karen.
somehow do it faster?
Well, who knew?
That's at the
I
end.
guess so. I mean, it's hard enough when people are watching you do it because you're working, and then you got the person's car that you're working on watching you do it, making
Yeah.
sure you don't scratch it or whatever. And then some people are really picky about it.
Okay. So here's what we learned. If
Yeah.
you're just tuning in, Joshua says he, as the oil changer, appreciates a tip because he's
But
doing the
as
hard work in the heat.
The Roula and Ryan tip jury.
I
what
say
do
they
we
do not deserve
I
a
say
tip.
no tip.
That is a job you're
I
hired
don't
to
say they
perform a
don't
service.
deserve
I'm not saying
it.
deserve
No,
it.
they're
I'm
saying
saying
don't
no.
feel obligated to
I'm
do
not-
it.
yeah.
It's a per instance situation.
Yes.
Well, now
Okay.
I feel bad, so I would probably
Next,
tip
Kev.
now. Now that I know this.
The
Yeah.
tipping jury is in. It's 713-390-KRB. Lines are full. Tell us what your job is. We'll discuss if that job deserves a tip or not next on the Roula and Ryan show.
Thing is so out of control. I mean, people that want to be tipped this day and age, I mean, for
It's happening
things
everywhere though, right?
that they're
Yeah.
just, I mean,
Turn
you
the
were hired
iPad
for that
around.
job. Why do I need to tip you?
And they say, choose an option and give me your autograph.
I am no cheap
And you're
Charlie.
like,
You know that.
Oh, great.
Someone said it on
Yeah, I
text here.
guess.
If you get paid less than minimum wage doing a service job, then tips should be given. But
Yep.
anything
Yeah.
over that.
But they should put that up like at the store.
Let us know.
Less than minimum wage, you're saying,
We
right,
do that.
Kevin?
I
Yes,
work for a
yes.
company that
Okay.
pays me crap.
So if
they
you get-
expect you to pay.
That should
Well,
put
if
that
you
up
get
there.
paid minimum wage, then that person should not get tipped according to that texter. Because what we know about service industry, servers are paid $2.13 an hour because the tip is their income.
How did they get around that, though?
I don't know why that's been the law forever. Y'all, that's been the law since I can remember.
I just got
as
back
a
from
restaurant
Europe.
person.
They don't tip.
You don't have to tip. I gave little, give like $1.
But they think it's
a
weird when
coin.
you tip.
Yeah, you just leave
They
a little
do.
bit, like a 50.
That's why when Europeans visit us, Eric,
They
servers clinch.
They don't
because
tip.
you're like, oh no, they think it's included and it's
Yeah.
not.
But they do great service.
It's just
They
real
weren't-
slow for 3 hour
But they weren't
lunches.
slow.
No, but they're paid much better.
Yeah.
So the question is, do you deserve a tip for the job that you do? Adrian is up next. 713-390-KRBE. Hello, Adrian.
Good morning.
Good
Hi.
morning. What do you do for a living?
I used to work for a church, and I was their funeral and wedding coordinator.
Okay. So are you talking about your tip or tip for the clergy, or who was the tip taker there?
Right. Yes. So I was not given any sort of a tip. I was paid by the church to help, and I'm speaking specifically on funerals for this tipping piece. Weddings is a secondary job for a pastor. They can choose to do it or not, and it's kind of just it's kind of an expectation. You're gonna tip the pastor just like you tip everybody with weddings. For a funeral, though, it is actually written into their code of ethics, I guess, that they should not ask or expect a tip for a funeral. However, a lot of clergy, despite, kind of just showing up the day of the funeral, yes, okay, they're there for the family and their grief, but I feel like it's a lot in this industry, the funeral industry. They kind of feed off of that grief, unfortunately, and there's this expectation of you should be tipping me.
Really?
And so
Ooh.
I was consistently put in this super uncomfortable situation where the families would be coming to me and saying, well, should I be tipping the pastor? How much should I give the pastor?
For the
And
funeral
I had
service.
clergy,
Okay.
yes.
Gosh.
And I would have clergy telling me, oh, yeah, no, you need to tell them this is a customary amount.
What's the customary amount? I'm just curious.
Terrible.
Like,
Yeah,
What's
how
the
much-
customary
You're
amount?
burying your
well,
loved one and
yeah,
you got to
so-
shell out the cash.
Yeah, the church that I was working at, they would have me tell people that the customary amount was $300.
Whoa. I was thinking 50 bucks.
man.
I mean, for $300,
I
you're
would
going to
feel-
dig the grave.
Joking.
Right. And you feel horrible. I felt horrible. I would always preface it with saying this is not an expectation. This is not a requirement.
Right.
But again, you're grieving. You're fed on grief. And so these people are just working. I mean, they would give more than that because they were like, oh, no,
Wow.
they're just getting into everything. It's just such a, I don't know, that whole business, that whole side of it, especially like I said, it's the clergy side of it, not just the funeral homes that are doing it.
But where's it
Interesting.
stopped? I mean, do you tip the person that painted up your dead person to make them look good in the coffin? I mean, where does it stop? I mean, you got to
can't
tip
say it,
everybody?
like, more respectful than that.
Painted up.
Paint it up.
Put some
your
more
dead
paint on
person.
my grandma.
They have a name.
You mean
The makeup
Mortician and stuff.
Yeah, you tip the mortician.
I mean,
No, you're paying for that service.
Okay, how about
Well,
this
that's
one,
what
Kevin?
we're paying for most of these
It's already
services.
Wait, I have a question for Special K because Special K and I are the two in the room that have had laser hair removal.
Yeah.
When you go get a laser hair removal session, do you tip?
Okay, here's how I work that out. If this is
it's free, so he'll tip.
if this is a like a real medical med spa type of place,
Right.
with licensed professionals in there,
Well, most of them are. You shouldn't be doing it anywhere but that kind of place.
Where are you
know-
going? Some back
girl,
alley?
you know I got some Groupons that I have
Oh, no.
now that I don't get
Like Sam's
endorsements.
Groupon massage with
Okay.
her
I
butt
even
massaging?
tipped after that too. Dang it!
I've gone to some shady
so
back
you don't
room.
tip if it's an
Oh,
official
my
med
God.
spa like
I
licensed
don't.
place. You
And
don't
a lot
tip.
of times they tell you like we don't do tipping here. Like
Got
no.
it.
And I've had people refuse tips from me, and that's why I actually stopped because
Okay.
I was going to one specific med spa that had some very not invasive, but like some real treatments that you needed to be licensed and regulated on. So they were like, no, don't tip here. But I went to another shady back room place down here on Westheimer to get laser hair
Shady
removal.
Why are you doing that?
Because
What are you
I was
doing?
not. I was between endorsements. I couldn't get it for free anymore.
Because it's not cheap. Okay, the
So
reason I
I got
asked
it done, I
that, Kev,
tipped.
so you tipped when it was free. You
I
didn't
tried
tip
to-
when you paid.
I tried to
Oh, you
tip-
didn't tip when it was licensed.
Right. I don't tip when it's licensed. I do tip when it's just a small establishment doing little
The
facials
reason
and
I'm asking
laser
this is
hair
because
removal.
Tina's up next.
But how did it turn out though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
back
how'd
alley.
the cheap place go?
Not as
you
good.
got burned.
No.
So you had
the-
hairs?
Rula, you would have laughed at the way this woman did it.
God, no, I
she went,
can't.
Pachoo. She jumped around on my arm like 3 inches away.
No,
Like she just jumped
no,
around.
definitely
And
not
you're not
trained.
supposed to do that. You're
No.
supposed to create a grid and
Yes.
do the whole arm
Grid.
or chest or
Yes.
something like that. Oh no, this girl was like, pew, 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 pew,
Oh,
pew, pew,
no,
pew.
no,
I was done
no.
in 5 minutes.
Stop it.
I was
You
like,
got
well, I guess I'm-
patchy spots of hair growing out.
Patches of hula hand.
Yeah. Okay, the reason I asked that is because Tina is making a good point. There are a lot of people in this day and age in 2023 that get fillers and Botox and laser hair removal, all the things. Tina, good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Hi,
morning.
do you work in one of these offices?
No, I actually started getting fillers a few years ago, and I was shocked to go to doctors' offices and medical centers, and they would ask you for a tip after.
They would
And
actually
in my-
ask for it.
For a medical procedure, you've got a tip.
What?
Yes. So, like, I would get fillers or Botox, and then when it would be time to check out, fillers would be like $1,200, and then they turn the iPad around and ask for a tip.
And how
You're
much?
like, oh
and
my
they want
God.
like 10% of the
I'm broke.
of the $1,200.
That's $120
my
tip if
God.
it's 10%.
So then, do you hit custom and put in $12?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
What
And
do you
so,
do?
You know, whenever you're doing fillers and Botox, it's always a doctor or a licensed nurse.
Yes.
So I would think that they're getting paid, a
Rather
sufficient
well.
amount of money.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and I went to a few of them, and it was all the same thing. So I went to 3 different offices, and it's the same thing.
Oh, my goodness.
So we all say
What does
no
the
to the
tipping
tip?
jury
No
say?
tipping.
No
that
tip.
one.
No tipping at the Botox filler place
That
or the.
seems extreme.
You're paying a lot of money for that, aren't you?
Like what? Then are you supposed to pay for your dentist and your pap smear? And
Yeah, I'm not tipping my gynecologist. Thanks for
Yeah.
delivering my baby. Am I supposed to tip the gyno?
Oh man.
Or the
Yeah.
obstetrician? Wait, when we had our baby, Sam, were we supposed to give him a tip like thanks for making it safe?
Yeah, dude,
Right.
yeah.
Wouldn't-
Sorry if
my
we were.
doctor bill alone, I'm not tipping.
I'm just like,
Hell
okay.
no.
So Tina, if you're just tuning in, has started getting fillers, and she said that 3 different places she's gone to ask for tips at the end when she's paying the invoice. That is something I did not
That's
expect.
insane.
Tip culture is getting
Wow and wow.
It's the Roula and Ryan show. We're asking the question, what's that one thing your mate does? It's non-sexual related, but it's
Sexy.
sexy.
Yeah.
Sexiest thing your mate can do. Just real quick before we get to the phones at 713-390-KRBE. Let me read this text as you guys are blowing us up with text. I'm going to lose this one. This texter says, my husband is a Houston firefighter. Anytime I see him in the news walking through a burning building. And then the emojis were the red face that's like sweating and the tongue is out.
Did he bring that uniform home?
Yeah.
I doubt it because they have to keep that.
And plus, it's
at
very
the
heavy.
Station.
I don't.
It
Yeah.
smells like smoke.
Is it
and
like a
stuff.
30-pound
the
uniform?
pants.
Maybe.
That's all she wants.
With no shirt
The
and-
suspenders.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
suspenders.
We've seen those calendars. We met those calendar men. All right, let's go to Matt on the line at 713-390-KRV. Hi, Matt. Good morning. Welcome to the Roula and Ryan Show.
What's up?
Hey! Are you feeling frisky?
going on?
Just thinking about what you're
Yeah.
going to tell us?
Sexy wife.
Oh,
Tell us
I'm
what.
already, yeah.
Okay, tell us what your mate does that's non-sexual, but it's sexy.
Every single time. The way she sounds on the phone.
Wow, she has a good phone
I
voice.
don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. We can be having a completely normal conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, don't forget to bring milk on your way home. And I'm just like, hey, you still sound sexy on the phone. And she's like, okay, I gotta go back.
How long have y'all been together, Matt?
13 years.
Wow, nice.
Wow.
That's
Congrats.
awesome.
Yeah, that voice.
Yeah.
That's
I
beautiful.
don't know what it is.
Good.
I'm
That
just like,
means you are
mm-mm.
you are loving on your wifey.
That's awesome.
That's cute. I love it. Have a great day, Matt. Thanks for sharing. Take
All
care.
right, guys.
Bye.
That's good.
I just said thanks for sharing, but it sounds like thanks for sharing. Is
Oh,
your wife's name
Sharon.
Sharon? Okay, let's go to let's go to Andrea or Andrea. I never know, so let's ask. Hi, is it Andrea or is it Andrea? That's line 4. It always sticks. Hold on.
You got
Hi, Andrea or Andrea? Welcome.
Hi, good morning,
Hi.
Andrea.
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 Okay, what is something sexy your mate does that's not about sexy time?
Sure, that is wearing his baseball caps backwards.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
what it is.
Yes.
It's a trigger.
And it's so easy
You
to
get like
do.
a whole new man.
The cap is on backwards. Let's go.
Does he know this though? Does he know it?
I'm sure Sam knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So.
I'm like, don't be doing that now, Mark.
Now, can I ask you a question? Is he bald normally? Is he bald?
Oh, no.
No,
No,
it's
okay.
just.
No, he has a full head of
Okay.
hair.
A lot of
Yes,
bald guys that
girl,
put on
I
a
feel
baseball
ya.
cap and they look
But
different.
do you tell him that he's sexy that way so he knows that it's a secret weapon? He's like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he knows.
He knows.
He knows. Anytime he plans to wear a baseball cap, I'm like, you got to turn that around. Not wear it normal. You got to turn that around. And then I don't know what it is. His hair just kind of swoops to the side on that little opening at the back. And
Yeah.
it's just,
Andrea, how long have you been with your man?
10 years.
10 years, and that backwards baseball
reason-
cap
I
still
feel
gets
you,
you.
girl.
I have a feeling she's going to call him up and see about having like a lunch date.
Yeah, I was like,
today.
hey, I was talking about you, babe,
Oh, what you doing?
on the Roula and Ryan show.
I actually told him to turn into the radio at his job, and then he's probably listening to at the warehouse right now. So you hear me? Hi, babe.
Oh,
You
yeah.
want to give a
He's
shout
getting in
out?
the
What's his
car.
name? What's his name?
Jose.
Jose. You turn that ball cap around all day long, baby.
He's
Only
racing
when
back
she's
to you
around.
right now.
Andrea, thanks for calling the show, honey. Have a great day.
Yeah, what would
Take
you do
care.
if you went to the warehouse and you saw him with that hat backwards? You'd be like, well,
No, who are you
Yeah.
wearing that for?
Whoa, turn
What's
it
going
around.
on?
Turn it around.
Listen, yesterday, I don't know if it was at this time or earlier in the show, we were talking about different listeners that we've come to know over the years with different like nicknames and stuff. And we're saying, whatever happened to Toops? We haven't talked to
Oh,
Toops
yes,
in a while.
Andrew.
Andrew is
Busy.
on the line. Andrew is the groom that called us on his wedding day and progressively got drunker and then ended the show with his wifey, his bride. Hi, Andrew. Good morning.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going great.
It's been a minute. Just been with my son, Tanner.
Yeah, how's that
how's the
baby?
baby doing?
Oh, he is hitting the terrible twos early.
Oh, Lord.
He's
Oh,
14 months old.
wait till the
and throwing
threes.
tantrums.
That's worse.
3 is the worst.
Oh, no. 3 is a three-nager.
Yeah.
If you think 2 is terrible, 3 is a blank hole.
Yep.
Oh, great.
It is
So
true.
true.
Okay, so Andrew, what is something that's not about sexy time, but it's sexy about your wife?
Man, I don't know if it's post-sexy time, but I just love it when her hair's all messy. I'm just like, oh, my goodness.
So when she doesn't do her hair,
Well, she's a
messy
new
hair.
mom, so you must be
like
turned on all the
hair's
time.
No,
Discombobulated?
the hair's all curly and everything.
That's cute.
So
So
I'm
she's not
like,
like put
ooh.
together.
Yeah.
Because sometimes some people
Yeah.
are always put together. When you see them not put together, it's like a
Yeah.
different
It's like
thing.
those people that have to go to work and
hot.
wear suits and ties. Then they would put jogging pants on, and that people get turned on. Like if we suit up, our spouses are like, "Oh wow,
Ooh,
you
you
actually
look
look
nice.
nice
Yeah,
for
you
once."
look
Like,
nice.
wow.
Right.
Yeah, like when I wear a dress.
Yeah.
Even my kids are like, Mommy, you're wearing a dress. I was like, you look really nice in that
And you're like,
dress.
"Good, good."
Aw.
Thanks. Yeah, Tubes, I got you. Messy hair. That's great.
Real quick, though,
Yeah.
I have a friend, Robin. She listens to y'all every morning on the podcast. Can y'all wish her a happy birthday? Today's her birthday.
Of course. Happy birthday, Robin.
Sam, hey, happy birthday, Robin. There you go.
Andrew, thanks for checking in. Say hi to your wifey and hug that sweet baby
We
for
really gotta
us.
say it like Mark
All
Wahlberg.
right. Thanks, guys. Y'all are awesome. I'll catch y'all on the next time.
Later.
All right, well, say hi
Thanks,
to your
Andrew.
mother for me.
There you go.
Say hi to your mother for me. The topic is, what is a non-sexy thing that what is a sexy thing that your lady's doing that's not sexy time related?
Yeah, you're not trying
That's
to
what
be
it is.
not trying to be sexy.
You're not
Just
trying to turn it on.
get you going.
Turning it on. MJ is up next. Hi, MJ. Welcome to the Roula and Ryan Show.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, MJ.
So,
Good morning.
Good morning. My partner has like a little bungalow, one of those houses. So it has a nice front porch.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll like smoke a cigar and have a little glass of whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
Why you gotta say
And
no
there's just
sexy like
something
that?
about it.
I'm falling for him right now.
Have a cigar.
We're all falling for him right
Sexy to
now.
me.
Just sipping my whiskey and
You're
smoking
like,
my
he's
cigar.
on
Yeah,
that front
when-
porch.
Yeah, when he says, I think I'm going to have a cigar, I'm like, I will be right there. The smell of the cigar and just, I don't know, there's just something about it. It's always
Usually
gotten
the
me,
smell
I
of a
don't know.
cigar would be a turnoff for a lot of people, but I think it's
Yeah.
the whole package of watching your man
yes.
on the porch.
Some people
with the
find that
whiskey.
smell revolting.
Does he dip the tip into the whiskey
Yeah.
before he puts the cigar in his
Do that
mouth?
with
Yes,
cognac.
he does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kevin, we lost Kevin already.
Kevin's
gone.
Oh, sorry, Kev.
He
I'm at the
just started
cigar.
to dip the tip.
Oh, you can dip the tip in whiskey? Are we just something new we didn't know about? Dipping the tip in whiskey? Is that a whole other thing?
Whoa.
Sorry, Kev. I didn't know. I forgot.
MJ, you got everybody wanting some whiskey
Yeah.
and a cigar and a patio somewhere.
I know where I'm going after the store.
That's awesome.
10,000 naked pictures of yourself now.
Okay, let's go to Monica on the line. MJ, thanks for calling. Monica, you are next. Hi, welcome to the Roula and Ryan Show. Hello.
What's up, Monica?
Hi.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
So before I say this, I want to say that when we met, hadn't dated anybody, and I was very skeptical about dating him because of his baby mama. He's the sweetest guy in the world. He has a wonderful soul, and I love him for that, and that's what attracted me to him. I was like, you know what? This man I need in my life.
Oh, nice.
So,
that's sweet.
with that being said, if anything that turns me on is when he, in a very sweet and stern voice, he says no to his ex. Whenever she's trying to break the rules or visitation or, anything in regards to finances that he has to cover, he's like, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. I'm like, oh, baby, let's go to the bed now.
Oh.
I like that. Yeah,
I tell him, you got to grab him once in a while. Like, it's okay for you to not always be super sweet. You can say no. It's okay. And he's going through that transition. And when he says no, I'm like, oh, baby, that right there.
So you feel
You're
like
Campbell's soup. You're good.
Oh, my God.